With 50-plus years of combined produce, supply chain, entrepreneurial, and business experience, Craig Slade and Ed Bertad discuss the impacts of fresh produce on their lives and health. This podcast is a casual conversation between two friends just trying to get better. This is the Fresh Cred.
Well, hello again, everybody. We're back, as you can see.
And we're back.
Oh, you know, you're always like complaining about my intros.
Oh, maybe I just want to.
You just want to pick. Yeah. You just want to jab me. That's what you intend to do.
I know.
You know, and I was going to make a comment. It's the good news for everybody is you and I are hydrated with some good water because you said earlier when we started the show we got to stay hydrated with this intense heat we're dealing with. So
hydrated, caffeinated.
We got coffee.
Mm-hmm.
They got Pete's.
Yeah.
I like Pete's.
I do too. It's been a while.
I mean, I used to be just solely Starbucks, but yeah, I'm a Pete's lover. So.
You're a new Pete's guy.
I used to work for Starbucks.
Did you really?
Yeah. Did you know that Starbucks was based off of Pete's?
No.
Yeah. That was one of his inspirations was Pete's Coffee here in San Francisco.
Was it real? Okay. Well, we're going to have to get in. But before we get into Pete and Starbucks,
I can talk coffee too.
I got to introduce you, right?
Okay.
I mean, they know Ed, they know me, but they don't know Bryan Barsness. And it's Barsness.
Correct.
Yeah. And what did you say? Said something about it's like bars in a nest or something. What did you say?
Well, technically, I just learned that it's technically Barsness, so it's Norwegian.
Oh.
And there's a town up north of Bergen in Norway.
Okay.
And I felt like we went back and did our family trip back in right before COVID in 2019 and went to the Norwegian cruise. And I don't know if you remember the old Visa commercial where they actually did a whole commercial on this back, I don't know, late 90s or something like that. Y'all aren't that old yet, but...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'd probably pour my time. Because I'm the youngest guy on the set here.
Yeah, tickets to Norway, $800 or whatever.
Yeah.
And hotel, $1,000. And then only to arrive in Norway and find out your Swedish price. So I was waiting for that moment. But it didn't happen. Yeah. And in fact, we found our own little hometown and even learned how to say my own last name about 3 years ago. So
well, very nice.
Cool.
So how far removed are you from
my great-grandparents?
Great-grandparents. They're the ones that immigrated over here to the States.
They did. They're in North Dakota. So I've got. We actually still have the little homestead farm up outside of Surrey, North Dakota, and get some of those black dirt potatoes and.
Wow.
Dig the carrots right out of the ground. It's fantastic.
That's
up
neat.
there for some produce, and that was my first, I guess, foray was going up to Grandpa's little farm up there.
So again, we got your name out. So you're vice president.
From now on, I'm gonna have to call him Barsness.
Barsness.
I mean, that's just it.
It's just too tasty.
I mean, I've watched too much. I mean, I watched all of Vikings. Vikings
That's a
Valhalla.
good show. That's a good show.
Last Kingdom. I mean, there's no way I'm not gonna go. He's already given me that nugget. I mean,
Yeah.
So anyway,
This has got to be the most botched introduction ever.
I've seen worse live. So
So vice president of sales and marketing, Grub Market.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with those guys.
Yeah, you've heard of them once or twice, have you?
Twice, and I think a lot of people have. But no, super glad to have you on. Yeah, we definitely want to dig into a few things that are. It sounds like you've got a lot of interesting stories and things to talk about. I'm surprised Ed hasn't picked up. And you said North Dakota, right?
Yeah.
Are there any elk or deer or anything up there?
There's a lot of deer up there.
No elk?
You can get the buffalo, though. My brother lives right outside of Dickinson.
When have you ever killed a buffalo, Ed?
I've never harvested a buffalo.
Oh, that's
no.
right. I can't use that word anymore. I'm sorry. That's right. And we are in California.
I've never had the opportunity, but maybe a follow-up podcast we can talk about that. Yeah.
So
that'd be great.
Would you harvest a buffalo?
I would.
Oh, it's amazing meat.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do these dudes still run wild?
Oh, yeah. Theodore Roosevelt National Park up there in North Dakota. You can just see them. In fact, there was just a lady a couple months ago, I think it was, and she went out to go take her little picture of the buffalo, the wild buffalo, and it charged her.
What?
Yeah.
And not something you want to go up and touch. This isn't a domesticated cow.
I don't think I realized I thought they were like wiped out and they created buffaloes.
No, they're definitely wild buffalo. I mean, they've done a lot to reintroduce into the plains, but they're definitely wild buffalo out there. So not as many as there used to be.
I sense another road trip.
Let's do it.
We could do harvesting wild buffalo, the greater North Dakota, the show.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. At least half of the crew. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say
there.
I'm not sure Laura would be part of that plan.
Well, there's actually a Scandinavian festival up there come the beginning of October.
What?
Yeah, you
Is
can
it
get
anything
all
like
it.
a Renaissance fair? Because
No, I mean
I've
there is
driven by one of those, but I don't want to stop.
There is a
I have
Viking
been to one of
section.
those. I'm not going to another one of those.
There's a Viking section up there. They bring in Norwegian chefs as well.
Oh my
to get
God! You
modern
could put
food.
on your little Viking set that you watch that show with.
Yeah.
You know your little outfit that you and
He's giving them Renaissance fair a hard time. But
Callie,
we all
y'all dress
know.
up in Viking wear and watch.
I'm laughing because I heard an expression once that said those Renaissance fairs. It's an overuse of the terms ye and old and twiz and twas.
Yeah. I don't think they used those words back then. That sounds a little educated.
So
Maybe some
what is
folks.
this little festival? Is it a good one?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You can go up there. You can get old lutefisk, which is
Get
dried,
old lutefisk?
Yeah, it's dried salted cod reconstituted in butter.
That
Wow.
sounds
So if you
terrible.
like some fish jelly with some bones.
Mason,
yeah.
this is all. This got Mason written.
It's literally
I'm
fish
sorry.
jelly, buttered fish jelly is what Jello is what it
I
tastes
want to
like.
get. Can I get Mason a jar of fish jelly?
Yeah, I mean, why not, Mason?
Oh, Mason,
You
what-
got to try it once. Honestly, they serve it. The people there that eat it up like it was candy,
do they?
and I do it just as tradition. But I stick with the Swedish meatballs.
Do they put it on biscuits?
No, they put it on potatoes and it's buns and yeah, it's.
Huh. So fish jelly. That's
But you
one.
do have to try the lingonberry.
Man.
So lingonberry is like a cranberry, bringing it back to produce, right? It's like
All
a
right.
cranberry
Yeah.
up
They
in
grow those at
Scandinavia.
IHOP, don't they? There's a
lingonberry?
lingonberry crepes. I've
lingonberries.
had them at
Yeah,
IHOP.
Nobody even eats at IHOP, Ed.
People still eat at IHOP.
they don't
Great.
eat at
Okay, I'm sorry.
especially the all-you-can-eat pancakes.
I'm sure they're a lot better there
So
than
ingleberries,
Lingonberries.
lingonberries,
Lingonberries.
lingonberries.
You
Does that
can
grow?
find them at IKEA.
Is that does it grow on a bush?
Yeah,
Does it?
yeah. They're
Not a tree?
like the wild berry up there, and then they put that on the meatballs, or they can even put it on the lutefisk. It gives you that salty sweet.
Holy
so-
Toledo! So
Wow.
this
But,
interview took a complete turn.
It's like they get like 50, 60,000 pre-COVID, 50, 60,000 people at that festival for 4 days.
darn.
It's pretty big.
Wow.
So you got some Scandinavian heritage. It's they got good concerts, country singing, lots of good times up there.
Both types of music, country and western.
They do. They do have the old country for sure.
Nice.
And then they've got some like the old Ricky. I'm drawing a blank. Some of that old 50, 60 stuff.
Ricky
yeah.
Gervais.
No, the two kids. They're the twins.
Oh,
And their dad.
Nelson.
Yes, the Nelson brothers. Thank
Ricky
you.
Nelson.
Yeah,
That's
Ricky
Willie
Nelson.
Nelson's cousin.
They come
Our
all
brother.
the time. Yeah, they come all the time, and the Nelson brothers. And
I saw Ricky Nelson as a kid.
oh, really?
Yeah, in
I couldn't tell.
Texas Ranger Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. That's God's honest truth.
That's a-
Rangers is a baseball team in Dallas,
Yeah.
Arlington, actually. Did you know that?
I did.
Are you a baseball fan?
I am.
Ah.
Much to the chagrin of my brother, who doesn't talk to me during baseball season.
So does North Dakota have a baseball team?
Professional?
Well,
No.
Oh.
No, they do not. And they're pretty much football country up there.
So where do they draw from? Like if you're in North Dakota, who are they rooting for?
Usually the Vikings or the Packers.
Vikings. Well, the
And,
Vikings don't play baseball, do they?
Sometimes the Donkeys.
The Donkeys.
Yeah, the Denver Donkeys.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm a Chiefs fan, so I
Wow.
have to just lay it out there.
Well, all right. So we're going to come
But-
back to some of this exciting
For
stuff.
sure,
but-
because we've got a lot to learn.
Yes, we
'Cause
do. We got a lot.
Bryan, I've been hearing a lot about Grub Market, and particularly in the trade media. I know you have a lot to share. For those folks that have not heard or that are curious, kind of give us the elevator speech or the rundown on what Grub Market is and how it came to be and kind of what the goals are within the business, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, it's it's a question that's been out there, and I get asked that quite frequently, and so I'm glad you asked because it's actually a pretty cool story. Where we have, our CEO Mike Shue, he comes from a tech background, broke his, cut his teeth, as they say, I should say, in Oracle. Before that, eBay. Moved on to do some management of his own, and so he definitely had a passion for technology. And my whole career has been in produce technology. I don't think my heart with that Norwegian heart, right? Like it's strong, but sometimes the produce industry is intense, and so I like to. There's good people in produce, and I've spent most of my career, I'd say, as a produce partner in the technology space. After working for many years at Famous Software, some other technology companies that are out there, and I finally landed here. And I think one of the reasons why is because of that mission that Mikey Shu set out for us, and so he. Back in the day, about I think it was 6 years ago or so, had started home delivery. So before this past challenging couple of years, really felt that was the next wave. And I always joke it's kind of weird. We had home delivery back in the day with the milkman and
the
Schwann's truck, and now it's kind of come full circle again to where now we're doing that not out of necessity, but out of convenience. And everybody has their own reasons, and he had a passion to be able to solve that as a convenience factor for people. There's also the ability to help in food deserts, so maybe where they don't necessarily have food or a good quality supermarket to be there that's local for them. And so there was a passion there for him to do that. So he jumped into the food space. Quickly found that the technology out there was a lot of legacy systems that had been there for a while, and they treated the industry fairly well, but there wasn't anything modern. And the hard part with older technology is that it's very structured and conforming, and you go back to the 90s and 80s and the old DOS Linux. I mean, just the information then that we could pull out by having something that was structured, that wasn't paper, was revolutionary. But it's kind of like if you give a mouse a cookie, and businesses are the same way. You give them a little bit of information, they want more. You give them a little more information, they want more. So having a system that was Windows-based then, moving from DOS to Unix, come the turn of the century, and being able to have reports that actually you could print out to a regular laser printer, and again, being able to track more information because the databases are bigger, the computer technology is heavier, so you have a lot of systems out there that were able to do that. But then those reports were stagnant, and you couldn't do anything with them. You print them out, and you want to drill down and get more information. And so the way technology is nowadays is it's very dynamic, and it's a lot more user-friendly in the sense that you're able to access information with a simple search across the whole database. The way we like to say it is the databases have been flattened. So there used to be this old table structure, kind of like a old crime thriller, where they put the pictures up and you'd have to connect the dots with the red line and who done it. And that's how the old database structure kind of was. You have to go to one line to go to the other table, to go to the next table. And now with modern technology, we've flattened that information so that the computers can access the information from wherever, however, and as fast as they need to. And so we're looking at some of the systems that are out there that wasn't present. And this industry is fast, right? It's a fast industry. It's something where, as we all know, like time is money, and more than the markets are a true free market economy. It's a perishable product. I mean, I don't know how many other factors are out there that just say that speed is king in what we do.
It's all stacked up against you.
It is. And so you need a system that can respond to that. You need people in this industry. Like, we're also, though, I wouldn't say our tech IQ is as high as maybe in some other industries, and that's very company dependent. There are companies that are out there that are a little bit more invested in technology, and there are some companies that are not. But the beauty of what a modern computer system can do is actually reach out to be a little bit more intuitive for somebody who doesn't even have that tech IQ. Less clicks, for example, right? Just to have the reports that I know that I need, and then be able to, when I see an issue, drill down into that and get more information. And as Mike Shu was creating or branching into food, he saw this and wasn't able to access that information. And given his experience, it's like going back to the dinosaur age for him. And you're not able to do what you want to do. And if you ever meet Mike, he's very much we got to get it done. We got to be successful at it, and it has to be done right.
And Bryan, are you talking about like from a order fulfillment standpoint, or just general P&L, finance, accounting, like everything?
Everything. So you can go from the basics of getting the general ledger in there, right, and growing off of that. And we leverage a bunch of different tools for that general ledger, so you can stay on QuickBooks. This industry loves QuickBooks. And actually, QuickBooks, like you've got a bunch of different variety. Sometimes it can have, for the bigger companies, a bad name, but it's a very stable, safe, secure platform, and it has a lot of really cool features that a lot of again, these legacy softwares, they don't have. Like the integration with the banks. Intuit's a huge company. It's one of the largest companies in the world. And so when Intuit goes to Bank of America, they're like, yeah, we know each other. Hey, we're buddy. But if these little niche software systems that are in the industry go to Bank of America or Wells Fargo or Bank of the West, whatever your local bank is, then they're like, who are you again?
Why should I trust you?
and we'll work together maybe, but it's also based off of, again, that older technology where you're exporting a file format and importing it, and it's not this true application interface discussion that we've moved on to in most of the other industries. And so that led him to say, hey, like we need something better for us. And so he got in his garage literally and started tinkering, added some people to it, and we developed our own software solutions that we continue to develop today. Through that, and there's when you get to be your own test case, and when you get to actually be the one software in the industry that says they use their own product, that's pretty powerful too. And so obviously being able to provide these solutions to the companies that he started to do, because there's two aspects to this. There's the passion project that was in terms of the food, and then there's the technology aspect too, where in order to accomplish what he wanted to do and how he wants to radically change the food system positively for our industry and for this country and for other countries, he needed the technology to do that. So he built the technology. We started using it. Our neighbors liked it because this is the produce industry and the food industry, and people talk. They asked if they could use it, and we've been reselling it now, both using it internally and reselling it now for over 2 years. So since that time, we've picked up over 60 external customers. You do not have to be a part of the internal Grub Market family to use the software. And that's part of his passion too.
And so in the software, that's the WholesaleWare, right? So Grub Market being the parent and the
Correct.
WholesaleWare being the software piece of the business.
So we have two software. Thank you for allowing me to clarify. We have two software programs right now. We have WholesaleWare by Grub Market, which is our ERP or Enterprise Resource Planning software. And then we have Orders.io, which is the e-commerce side of things. So Grub Market, Orders.io. And both of those two softwares are available. They're independent of each other, or you can use them together. So if you really like your ERP and you're just passionate about that, but yet you're looking for an e-commerce solution, because changing ERPs, I tell people, again, I've been doing this for my whole career. It's like literally if you had to replace the foundation of your house, it's a big lift.
Yeah.
But if there's cracks in your foundation, you got to do it.
Yeah.
But it takes timing, it takes planning, and so it's a process. We've been able to, in order to help with that, bring in some of the best talent in the industry, both produce and technology, to make sure that our team is now seeing thousands of produce companies externally because of their experience and their talent level. So that's been exciting to see this past year. And we're continuing to grow like gangbusters. So it's exciting. And Mike likes to say he wants to democratize software. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we're
Is
trying
there
to
a
do.
sweet spot when you talk about those 60 customers I thought you said? Is there a sweet spot from a size perspective, or is it kind of all over the board from a
Yeah, I'd say right now we're focused on that kind of, I'd say our average user base is roughly 10 users, and that's intentional. We have projects going on with much larger companies. But if those are multi-year projects. I mean, I've done this for companies that are hundreds of users, and that's a big, long process.
Sure.
And you have to have planning. And so these customers that are a little bit smaller, a little aggressive, we have one user customers, and we have bigger customers like 50 user customers, right? So there's that range there, but you start to get to that 100 user customer, and that's a lot of planning and projects. So you're able to get these people live on the software, get them successful quickly when they're that smaller. So the software itself doesn't have the limitations. The team itself,
to roll it out,
yeah,
to
we
onboard
have
it, to
online
educate.
training and things like that. So we're able to onboard people a lot faster than I'd say traditionally other entities are able to do. But yeah, so that's kind of it. And our specialty is definitely produce and protein. So we are also able to work with the protein industry. They don't have really legacy software to speak of anyway. And we've been excited for that.
Well, and I think obviously full disclosure, Sunfed is part of the Grub Market family, and so we, we see what Mike's doing, and the people that are joining the Grub family is really trying to make the supply chain of fresh much more efficient, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned something that a lot of people don't know, because we're all in the fresh produce business, and that has certainly been a lot of the space where Grub Market has gone into. But you mentioned protein, and I believe there's a dairy company as well.
Yeah, we have protein companies. We have other technology companies.
Yeah.
We have a transportation company, like payment. I mean, there's a lot. We're a fairly large company, and being able to bring this to radically transform our industry is really what the passion is. You want to make sure that you have like-minded people. And there are some people in this industry that will never change. I mean, we know that, right? They're adverse to change. It's the number one argument towards software is I've been doing this for 45 years, and I'm going to do it for another 45.
Well, and software change is hard. I mean, you mentioned that. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's hard to leave a notepad, right, and get to your phone and keep your notes on that, right? You use a notepad for so long, it takes an adjustment. And when you're talking about changing an organization, all that, but the reality of it is with WholesaleWare, with the software piece, with what Grub Market, Mike, and what the company's trying to do, I mean, it's really about trying to create for the fresh food supply chain. And I say fresh foods, that's primarily the space they've been in, whether it's protein or produce. But it's really trying to make it more efficient, make it more accessible for those places. That's the big term vision. I mean, it's a big vision when you try and dig into it, and it's really hard to understand, especially outside looking in, what's going on. But there is a huge vision, and it's pretty exciting to be part of. But I love this conversation, but for me, I've got reasons I want to
Derail it.
Derail it, yes. That's exactly right. Because it's Shark Week.
Officially?
No.
Okay.
But it is on the show. Maybe it's Shark Moment.
Okay, Shark Moment.
Shark Moment, because, so Bryan lives in the LA area, Los Angeles area, down in Southern California. He does a lot of windsurfing and just crazy surfboarding stuff, and super out there all the time. And
extreme.
He's an extreme sports guy, right? The last gentleman we had on, he jumps out of planes.
Lingonberries and windsurfing.
So anyway,
sailing, actually.
Sailing.
Okay.
We sail and dive.
But he also fights sharks in his free time, right? Is that
technically, I wasn't the one that fought it.
Oh, it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
Okay, so what was the story on the shark? So before you get out of here, because I know we're going to be bumping up against time here pretty quick, I want to hear the shark. I want the audience to hear the shark story and close out with that. So
Yeah.
Welcome to Behind the Greens. Devoted to quality, consistency, and an ever-evolving perfect produce program, the Gallus, Arizona-based Sunfed is at the top of its game with fruit and vegetables produced by some of the world's finest growers. With the increasing demand for more flavorful and nutritious cuisine, Sunfed is ramping up its eggplant program in the fertile soil of the Culiacan region of northwestern Mexico. The versatile vegetable is triple washed and packed in state-of-the-art facilities in order to bring a consistently dependable and superior product to market. Like all of Sunfed's produce offerings, perfect eggplants are grown in both a sustainable and responsible way, ensuring that not only the product is cared for, but the people as well. To ensure food safety standards are not only met, but exceeded, the company has established its own internal food safety standards and audits, administered by Sunfed's food safety specialists, while Primus Labs conducts field testing utilizing multi-residue screening. And food safety isn't the only topic that is top of mind for Sunfed. In addition to having pioneered innovative packaging for eggplant under the Perfect Produce brand, Sunfed has pursued advancements in extending shelf life with modified atmosphere/modified humidity packaging. For the customer that buys first with their eyes, this eye-catching, original campaign will bring both differentiation and quality to produce departments. Thank you for watching Behind the Greens.
So this is Thanksgiving Day, Maui, 2020.
Okay.
And
Hey, right in the midst of the pandemic.
right, yeah, we go over there. You do what you need to do with your COVID testing. We're super excited. I've been in these waters. I mean, I remember the 1992 Dream Team and watching the Olympics from these beaches. And
Wow.
yeah, that's how many times I've been in these waters.
Okay.
And we are out there now, and got some nice reservations for Thanksgiving dinner. And I had a friend of mine, and she had been working mostly, so she'd come out. She's a family friend from a long time, and so she'd come out to be with us for Thanksgiving. And she had yet to go snorkeling. She'd she'd been in Hawaii for 4 days.
So where is this? The North Shore?
No, this was just north of. This is kind of in between Lahaina and Kapalua.
Okay.
And on the Maui. So North Shore's on Oahu.
Oahu, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got some great snorkeling over there.
Yeah, Oahu's got some decent. I mean, Maui's really a snorkeling capital.
Is that's the place?
there's
I'm not
some
sure I'm
good-
going to agree with you after this story. So
we could talk about that, yeah.
Okay.
But no, it's Hawaii, for crying out loud. It's great snorkeling, great
Yeah.
fish everywhere, right? And so we're out there, and I had this feeling that we'd been out in the water just a little bit too long, right? And I was like, all right, but we wanted to again just feel it out. We're out there snorkeling. The water was a little murky, which, being a Southern California boy, the water's always murky. You don't really think about it, but you have to think about that in Hawaii, and I should have known that. And so I tell Amy, I was like, hey, Amy, we got to go back in. Like, we've got dinner. We've been out here a while. We're about 100 yards out from the shore, about 3 complexes down from where we were staying. And I had told her, like, be careful, because in order to see, we had to dive down, and you don't want to hit your head on the coral. And so I said, just be careful and stay close. And so we go out, and I popped my head up to kind of see where she was at, because I couldn't see her in the water anymore. And instead of seeing where I thought I'd see her snorkel, I saw a shark fin.
Oh,
but I
my
thought it was
God.
a dolphin fin, because I said, hey, if it was an actual shark fin, it'd be biting me right now, probably.
So,
Right?
full disclosure, audience, I don't exactly know where the story's going. I have not heard the full story, so.
Yeah, so I pop my head up, and then all of a sudden the tail whips around. It flaps in the water for a little bit, pauses, and then it dives and disappears.
Oh, my God.
And right where that happened, Amy's head pops up. I said, Amy, we got to go in.
Like
There's
now.
a shark. And stone cold face, she goes, I know, I've been bit.
Oh, my God.
And right then and there, just like the movies, full circle of blood right in the water.
Come on.
Yeah.
So
Best friend
you got
for,
her
like,
out.
years. So I swim up to her.
Yeah.
And
So you go over in bloody water, sharks swimming around
Well,
out
you're not
there.
going to leave somebody.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, in that moment, it's
Gee,
like,
Craig.
hey, buddy, swim fast.
It's funny you mention that, because people actually thank me for like going. They're like, I'd be out of the water. And I go, well, we probably shouldn't be friends then, because if you're going to leave me in the water bleeding to death, like, that's not going to be something where.
Wow.
So I swim up. We swim all the way in.
But of course, you're probably not processing all that at that time. But anyway, continue on. That's still pretty amazing.
And I
it's
yell-
good that you went.
I yell 3 words. I will help, 911 and shark because there were surfers in the water too down the
Okay.
way. And my mother, this is the voice of a mother, right? Like, or the heart of a mother. She hears me. I don't know if you've ever tried to scream at anybody at the beach. It's not easy.
No, you can't hear anything.
You can't hear
Waves
anything.
crashing or whatever.
She hears me 3 complexes down.
Really?
3 complexes down. She said, clear as day.
Oh my
So
God.
she was the first one to call 911. By the time we actually got into shore, the paramedics were already there. Now, Amy's a paramedic. She's actually a set medic for Hollywood. So when you're in Hollywood, all the shows, she worked on like The Mandalorian and
Wow.
she's a
Oh.
paramedic. Yeah, so that's what she does by day.
Let me check my calendar. I'll be there.
No, I'm thinking of podcasts. Like, we should have her on.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, she'd
Follow
be
up.
great.
That'd be
And-
interesting to hear that.
Yeah.
So, and then, so what she did, and here's the end of this, the crazy part is she'll tell the story is so the shark actually caught her arm and flipped her. And she thought, and then got her head. So she thought she had hit coral, and she goes, oh shoot, Brian's gonna be so mad at me. I did exactly what he told me not to do. And then all of a sudden she felt pressure on her chest. And the shark had actually come in, and that's when it dawned on her. And she started punching the shark. So she literally, to your point, fought the shark off. Right in the nose. And then all the paramedics in the way asked her, like, how'd you know to do that? And she goes, has nobody seen Shark Week?
That's what I was going to say. Punch him in the nose, right?
Yeah, you punch him in the nose, you get him in the eye, whatever. And so it turns out that the marine biologist, because she's in at the hospital, she's fine today. You know, she's made a full recovery, and we got back in the water, and we've had a full time. I mean, we were children of the ocean. So
Oh my God! So
That's awesome.
yeah,
but,
that's a great
that's
story. I'm glad it ended. You know, I got because as I queued up that story, I thought to myself about halfway through, I was like, man, I hope nobody,
it was serious.
doesn't
yeah.
make through the story, because that's not really going to be great. So thank goodness she
happy
made
ending.
it through. It's a happy ending.
Yeah, I
It's
like
a happy
that.
ending.
Wow.
That's just the way
She's
I
got
love
a
our
story to tell.
she's coming on our
And
show.
Amy the Shark Fighter.
So, yeah. So, no, that's great. Brian, it's been awesome having you on. Like I say, thank you very much to WholesaleWare. We really appreciate you guys. I mean,
Thanks for
this
the
is
support.
this is not possible without
pleasure.
you guys.
And we learned something. Or I did. You already knew. But
Yeah.
hopefully
Did you
everybody
learn
else did.
something?
I did. I learned
that's
a lot.
new for you.
Wow.
You know what? It wouldn't be our show without a few jabs at you.
Sure.
It's the way it goes. We'll have to have you back. I have a sense
Yeah,
that you have a list of stories. I think the shark just made you
I sense
one.
a follow-up. We definitely have to follow
With
up.
Amy.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Well,
maybe.
that's where we'll hear her side of the story of how
Yeah,
valiant
right?
you
Like,
were.
was I really?
Yeah, I was going to say, you go over there, here's a raft. Come on out.
Well, you can actually, it made CNN, so you can go check it out.
Did
And
it
then,
really?
Wow.
and then she was excited because it said 35-year-old swimmer, so she was really excited about that. That was the highlight of the whole thing. She got younger. I mean, for the record, she's not far off, but
Yeah.
no, she loved that about
That's funny.
CNN reporting nationally that she was young.
That's funny.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
See you guys.
Appreciate it.
Many say there is strength in numbers. What if there was a vast network that unites fresh produce and protein wholesalers, producers, and buyers while providing the necessary resources to grow and thrive as individuals? Welcome to Grub Market, an interconnected community of North American companies built to help solve the inefficiencies in the food supply chain. Their network of strategic businesses includes fresh food producers, wholesalers, retailers, staffing, logistics, and insurance companies, and of course, the technology built to power them all. These strong relationships have grown Grub Market into the largest farm-to-fork business in the world. Utilizing the cumulative knowledge base of its members, Grub Market created WholesaleWare, a technology platform that provides a chest of tools to optimize and drive individual business growth while offering a multitude of opportunities to exchange ideas, resources, operating practices, and innovative tech, benefiting all with minimal risk and maximum benefit. As the leading ERP software for fresh food, WholesaleWare is the total package, harnessing the latest technology to offer streamlined efficiency in a modern, cloud-based software solution specifically designed for fresh food businesses. The software team has analyzed the best practices and operating procedures across the industry, crafting a flexible and customizable software that meets the unique needs of produce and proteins. Sales teams can save time by putting orders in with just a few clicks from anywhere in the world, including from home. Buyers can place orders directly via our leading e-commerce platform, available both online and via our mobile apps for phones and tablets. These features allow both sales teams and purchasing teams to spend more time on the relationship and less on the paperwork. WholesaleWare even has dashboards that are purposefully designed by and built for operators in the industry, so you can get insights from live data without expensive customization. Additionally, WholesaleWare's price tools allow businesses to completely rethink the old way of phone calls and manual corrections. Instead, WholesaleWare customers leverage smarter, dynamic, and consistent pricing based on market costs and trends from the insights built right into the software at strategic locations. And with inventory management optimized for both speed and food safety, companies utilizing WholesaleWare end up minimizing waste, needing fewer trucks, and saving valuable time, while leading to maximum profits. Using modern programming and a secure cloud-based environment, Grub Market's WholesaleWare offers transparency and privacy to wholesalers, importers, growers, brokers, buyers, and more. Our customers enjoy more value-added enhancements faster than ever before with our lightning-quick approach to software development. Plus, our disruptive pricing model allows us to democratize our world-class technology for all players and all-sized companies throughout the supply chain. Join us and join the digital transformation of the fresh industry for a brighter and more connected future. Visit wholesaleware.com to book a demo and dive into the all-in-one platform specifically designed for leading wholesalers, growers, distributors, and more. WholesaleWare by Grub Market, empowering the future of fresh food supply chain leaders.